Hey there, everybody. Marie here, and we just had a little technical difficulty, so we're starting this live stream over again. But we just had it happen at the very beginning, so it's perfect timing, and we're going to dig right in. So today we are talking about an evolved message, why you need it, how you know you need it, what's the benefit of it. And we've been really talking about the evolution of entrepreneurs in different capacities for a little while now. We've been talking for the last few weeks about the evolution of your audience, the evolution of you personally, how that is or isn't reflected in your messaging. And today it's going to be all about how you know that you need to evolve. So I'm going to take a second here and see if I can get Jessi added to this broadcast. Let's see here. Looks like it's adding. Hey.
Hey.
Super fun.
Yeah, tech.
Yeah, well, let's hope the app doesn't crash this time. But if it does, we'll make the best of it and we'll have part 3. No big deal.
Absolutely. Well, and this time you're hosting, so if it crashes, the whole video won't go away.
True. Exactly. Unless my app crashes and then all bets are off.
We're just done.
We're just giving up. No, this is good stuff, right? So let's sort of dive into this culmination of what we've been talking about for the last 3 weeks here, around the evolution of messaging. So the first question that we want to address today is, what does this actually mean, an evolved message? So I'll go first. You may have a different response, Jessi, but to me, an evolved message means it's a message that has grown and changed with you and with your business. So whenever you started your business, like for us, for instance, when we started our business, a lot of our clients were looking for help with their resumes and cover letters. And that's what we were doing. We were just kind of like writing and editing, anything, everything, right?
All the things.
Right. And now you'll find not a single mention of resumes on our website. We actually have changed, the services that we provide, so our message reflects that. We've changed the audience that we serve, so our message reflects that. We've changed the whole purpose of why we do what we do, and so our message reflects that. So to us, that means it's an evolved message. And I think the other piece of this is we've changed, right? Like we've gone through a lot of professional and personal development. We've really invested time and energy in our business and in ourselves, our mindset, all of that stuff. Kicking and screaming at times, but still. And so that's reflected as well. So it really reflects our values and who we are at this point. So does that sort of sound to you how you would define an evolved message, Jessi, or do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think so a fully evolved message is kind of a misnomer because there's no end to our evolution. But I do think that having an evolved message means that the message that you're putting out to the world, the foundation of your business, is in line with where you are at the present moment in your business. And making sure that those two things are really lined up is what allows you to know that you're attracting the right people, that you're offering the right services, that your content is, where it needs to be, talking about the things it needs to talk about. And to maintain that evolved message means allowing it to shift with you as you grow. Where the disconnect, an unevolved message, the opposite of that would be a message where what you're putting out to the world isn't fully in line with where you are as a business or a business owner. So yeah, I think it's everything that you said, Marie, and I just kind of want to make that distinction and, assure you guys that if you feel like your message is a little off, if you feel like you've evolved and your message hasn't come along for the ride, that's okay, because this is a constant process and we're constantly kind of catching up with ourselves.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think it kind of takes off a little bit of the pressure too, to feel like we have to catch up fully right now in every single way, because that's super overwhelming and it's going to be out of date immediately, right? So this isn't something to discourage you. It's something to just say like, hey, it's an important thing to do because you don't want to get farther and farther behind with reflecting who you are in your messaging. And it really can make a huge difference for you. But don't feel like there's necessarily an endpoint to the journey.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's talk quickly about the signs that you need a more evolved message. Hey guys, thank you for joining us. We're really excited to see you here today. If you have questions about an evolved message, make sure, or a story of your own message as it's evolved, make sure to drop it in the comments. So signs that you need to, not necessarily that you need an evolved message, because as we said, there's no such thing as a fully evolved message, but signs that you need maybe an upgrade to your existing message, signs that you are in that place of disconnect. I can think of a couple big ones. The first one that comes to mind is really an internal compass. And it's this sense that either the people you're talking to or the offers that you are actively delivering are not necessarily fully in line with what lights you up. And that's totally internal sometimes, but we've definitely reached points in our business where we say things like, okay, this thing that we loved to do is not feeling as good anymore. Why? Why isn't it feeling as good? And that allows us to dig deep and say, oh, well, because we're not the same people we were when we started doing this thing, how can we catch our business up to who we are now?
Absolutely. I totally agree. I think another piece of it is if your business model has shifted drastically, in a way that people need to know about it, right? It may be something where your business model changes. It's not a big deal, frontward facing necessarily. So for instance, we have been traditionally sort of a boutique type of copywriting service, as well as messaging strategy, where Jessi and I are like really in there in the copy. We're really giving our clients, we're the ones who touch every single project. We've been shifting some of our projects towards more of an agency model. And at the end of the day, the experience really isn't that different for those clients, right? Because they're still getting awesome copywriting. They're still getting our strategy eyes on it. We're always taking a look at things before they go back to the client. And at the end of the day, they're still getting a quality product. It's just who's necessarily doing the first draft is a little bit different. Now, if it was something where, for instance, I took a gander for a little while at selling bath bombs online, and that's completely different from what I do now, right? Like the people I would serve, that was a B2C business, whereas this business is B2B. Like everything about it was like fundamentally different. And that's when you definitely need an evolved message. If you've changed, I mean, that's maybe a little extra dramatic, but if you changed in that way.
Yes. Yeah. So, okay. So signs that you need to evolve your message. One is you have that internal gut feeling of things are not exactly where they need to be. Two is you have a drastic shift in your business model. And I would say three is that you've evolved as a person. And when you evolve as a person, often your business needs to evolve as well. So what this could mean is you're more comfortable talking about parts of your story and you're more comfortable creating certain types of content. Maybe you're more of an expert than you were when you started in certain areas. So now you can speak more intelligently and even offer services around things that you couldn't initially. We were not writing sales funnels when we first started this business because we weren't super familiar with them. That wasn't part of our writing arsenal. But as we were writing over time in the 8 years that we've run this business, we've learned more and more about copywriting in different mediums. And so we were able to add new things to our arsenal. So our evolved message, our message had to evolve with it as our audience shifted, as our services shifted, and as we shifted, and our confidence shifted.
Yeah, and speaking of that confidence piece, I think the other part of that shift for us internally was starting to actually recognize ourselves as leaders within the space. And that was a scary, long process. And then finally, we were able to recognize that we could help others step into their leadership shoes as well, right? So the cool thing about that is that we had to grow and change before we could lead other people. One of the things that we were reading, I can't remember which book this was, maybe you'll remember, Jessi, but we've been reading some books with some of our clients recently, and we were learning about how you can't lead someone past where you are, right? And so once we're all able to grow and shift personally, then yeah, sometimes it may not actually be a service like you were saying, Jessi. It may just sort of be how we talk with people or how we behave with people changes. Maybe we set up stronger boundaries with our clients or whatever, or with ourselves or with our team, because we're now feeling more confident. We've gone through a lot of personal development. So it can look like a lot of things, but all of that can be reflected within our messaging. And when those things have happened, so the business model itself has drastically changed, or we ourselves have drastically, not drastically, but enough that it feels different, right?
Significantly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the final part too is to take a look at how your content has naturally changed over time, because a lot of times what ends up happening is we start accruing content and we just end up with piles of it, like years worth of content that we kind of stop thinking about because it's not what we're focused on in the moment, but it still exists. It's still on our website. It's still in people's, archived inboxes. It's still, some freebie floating out there from back in the day when you were doing something else. And I think a sign that you need to actively evolve your message, actively update your message, is when you look at the stuff that you were publishing, 3 years ago, and you look at the stuff you're publishing now, and there's a clear disconnect between the two. Now, that doesn't mean you have to just throw everything out the window from 3 years ago, but it does mean that you need to look at it and make sure that it reflects the business you are now. Otherwise, if, let's say you have a blog post from 3 years ago that has a ton of Google juice and it shows up at the top of search engines, but it doesn't reflect who you are now, what you offer now, what you believe now, who you serve now, it's bringing you the wrong traffic. So if you can
Mm-hmm.
update that post so that it reflects all of where you currently are, but still keeps the meat of what it was before, then you can tweak it so it's attracting the right people to your audience, so that you are bringing the right people in, so that when people land on your website, they know what the heck it is you do and it makes sense. The things that come up on your services page make sense with what's on your blog and things like that.
Yeah. So I think that making sense is probably the one of the main reasons why it is a huge benefit for you
Mm-hmm.
to take the time to match your message to where you are in your journey right now, or where your business is. Because yeah, I mean, we've all been there, right? Where we're taking a look at something, maybe we're considering hiring somebody, or we just want to know more about maybe a potential client, right, who's hiring us. We take a look and then we get on the phone. They're like, oh, that's all different now. And you're like, okay, now I have no footing and I have no idea who you are, what you do. Like, I don't know what to talk about here. And it can actually breed a sense of distrust, right? So when we are transparent about the process and transparent about our journey, that's definitely an instance where we're able to build that trust, just because we're being upfront with people and we're being clear with them. And they kind of know what to expect. They know what they're walking into, whether they're looking to hire you, you're looking to hire them, whatever it is. So to me, that's one of the main benefits of evolving your message to reflect who and what you are and what your business is doing at this point.
Yeah, and the benefits of that benefit, right? Like what happens as a result of that is you end up not just attracting the right people, but attracting those people that you absolutely love working with. You're
Mm-hmm.
able to increase your revenue as a result. Hey, Alana. You're able to increase your revenue as a result because you're bringing in people who not just are your dream clients, but they're just as excited to work with you as you are with them. And so you're reaching the right people, your revenue is increasing, your content is super on brand and targeted, which means it's really easy to create things like sales funnels that work right out the gate and only need small tweaks instead of needing big overhauls. Or, a lot of us who have been around for a while, we've had that experience where we're creating a sales funnel and then we try it for a couple of months and we're like, we'll try again with another completely different sales funnel. But everything becomes more streamlined and less stressful when your message matches your business and where you are right now, because you're not just throwing spaghetti at the wall. You are basing things off of data. You're basing things off of that gut feeling of what fits for your business, and you're basing things off of your experience. And that allows your evolved message to really carry your business and be the foundation for everything else within your business.
Right. And I really believe that confidence begets confidence, right? Like when we have confidence enough to share that journey with other people, then all of those things happen that you were just talking about. And that in turn boosts the confidence. And then, it becomes easier for people to say, yes, I want to work with you. Yes, I want to know more about what it is you're doing. That can also create more confidence. You get the results for them, more confidence, right? So this is huge, and it's a big cycle, and it's a process, and it's all very win-win-win, because the more confident we can be justly, not just sort of because we have an egomaniacal approach to things, but justifiably being confident in our work is huge and important, and means that we're able to serve people as our best selves.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the how really quick. How do you do this? If you know that you're in need of a more evolved message, if you know that your business has a need to reflect where you are and how you've changed as an individual, what does that look like? What do you have to do? And how do you do it in a way that isn't totally overwhelming? Because a lot of you've been in business for a while, and the idea of looking back at all that old stuff might actually be a little terrifying. We've heard countless people tell us, I don't want to go to my website because it makes me want to barf. Like, it's just been so long since I looked at my website. I don't even want to think about how out of date it is. I don't want to look at my old content because it's just not reflecting who I am. And it's sort of like the room in the house that you don't want to clean because it's gotten so dirty, and so you just close the door and ignore it. I say that, but I don't have multiple rooms, but I imagine that's the thing that happens. So how do you create this evolved message? Well, it does start with opening the door to that room and looking in and taking stock of where you are, how far you've come, where you were, and really taking the time to celebrate that growth. And I think that's a key component, not just being like, okay, we have to burn everything down and build it back up again, but celebrating the evolution of an entrepreneur from those early stages of, I want to build a business, let's see what happens, and I have no idea what I'm doing, to where you are now. And I'm willing to bet that those are two very different people, which means the content is different, which means the audience is different, which means the business itself is different. So step one is to celebrate how far you've come. Then it's about actually digging into what you have, where you've grown, and how you can update your content to reflect where you are now.
Exactly. So if that is feeling a little bit overwhelming and you're looking for a little bit of guidance with these steps, we actually have something for you. So we are creating, and actually have created, it's ready to roll. I'm very excited about this. It's a free challenge for evolved entrepreneurs who need that messaging to catch up. So it's called the Evolved Entrepreneur Challenge. It's actually taking place this coming week, Monday through Wednesday, August 13th, 14th, and 15th. And all you need to do to sign up, this is, again, a free challenge for entrepreneurs who have been at it for a while. All you need to do is head to northstarmessaging.com/evolve. And from there, you'll be able to sign up and you'll be ready to roll for the challenge. So what we're going to do is exactly that, right? We're going to take time to, thanks for putting in that link, Jessi.
Sure.
We're going to take time to A, measure and celebrate how far you've come. B, take stock of where your content and your messaging is right now. And then C, help you develop a roadmap that will allow you to strategically update just one piece of your message that's going to get you the most mileage. So that way you can definitely make a tweak that's really going to matter, that's going to allow you to speak to those right people, that's going to speak to who you are at this point and what your business is all about, and help you really get caught up and reflecting all of that great evolution you've been going through. So that's really all it's about for 3 days. Again, this is not for newbies. This is for entrepreneurs who've been there for a while. If you're super busy, I know a lot of people are, heading back to school, or their kids are heading back to school. If these dates don't work for you, sign up anyway, because we're going to be sending everything to your inbox. You'll be able to check it out at your leisure when it works for you. We really are excited about this challenge. We know that it's a need. And so we really want to make sure that you have access to it if it's something that you feel may be useful to you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not long. We're keeping it short, 3 days, so that you can take actionable steps forward without feeling overwhelmed. That's what we're trying to cure here, is that overwhelmed feeling. So even if you aren't sure that you can do it live, go ahead, sign up. Go to northstarmessaging.com/evolve. Those of you who do participate live will be entered in to win up to 3 months of messaging strategy support for your business. So there are prizes involved. We love running our challenges with prizes. So make sure you sign up, give us a good email address so that we can send all the materials to you, and you can either join us live next week. We start on Monday, August 13th, and you can join us live, or you go through the materials at your leisure.
Exactly. And the only way to be able to potentially win those 3 months of messaging support from Jessi and myself is to sign up. So please do it. Can't wait to have you guys join us. Again, northstarmessaging.com/evolve. And if you have any questions about the challenge, just let us know. Can't wait to see you there.
See you there.